been a long time coming. Whoa, whoa.
Hi and welcome to day 8 of Fairytale Reread chapter 8. Now today I'm actually going to do chapter 8 and chapter 9, and the reason for that is that James, Rosie's brother, features very highly in it, and so to talk about him that covers kind of both bits. So James turns up, and we already know from little snippets that Rosie said about him that he was a bit of a character, always very popular with the ladies, always got in trouble, and I think she was kind of the good girl and he was the cheeky older brother. And then he suddenly turns up, and while she's really pleased to see him, straight away she's thinking he's in trouble because it's unlike him to just turn up with no warning at all, especially because her mum's been worried about him. So he comes back and he makes dinner reservations for her at a fabulous place, and he's been shopping for her, and he's been, on the surface of it, doing lovely things, but Rosie still has this little voice in the back of her head. So I'm going to read you a little bit at the end of chapter 8. So she spent time with him and she's just has a little bit of a question mark, but nothing that's been proved. And then this happens. Later that night in my room, I thought I heard a noise. I put down the book that I was reading and climbed out of bed. Tiptoeing to the door, I noticed the living room light still on, and as I got closer, I was aware of James's hushed voice. I opened the door slightly and peered through the gap. James was on the couch bed, propped up on one shoulder, hunched over his mobile phone. He was whispering with hoarse insistence, and although a glimpse of his face was denied me from my vantage point, his aggravation was obvious. Never mind what I said. I want out, understand? Whatever you have to do, get it done. I can't do this anymore. I just can't, okay? Yeah, whatever. Look, I'll be back Saturday. Yeah, we'll talk then. Yeah, you too. Good night. He snapped his phone off and flopped back onto the bed, hands over his eyes. Silently, I closed my door. What could it be? It's all exciting. When I was writing the book, it was obvious kind of straight away that Rosie would have a sibling. Initially I thought she'd have a sister, but then James showed up when I was writing. Because the whole book, I didn't realise I was writing a novel. So I wrote the story as I went along and was telling myself things. So things just kind of turned up and felt right, and I went with it. So James turned up, and I kind of knew straight away that he'd got to be a bit older, that he'd got to be a bit cheeky. Also, you have this thing that Rosie's dad left the family and moved to Australia and started a new family and completely broke contact with Rosie and James and Rosie's mom. And so there's already that sort of thing that James, I think, kind of had to become the man of the family when he perhaps wasn't willing to do it, and that in the end Rosie ended up sort of being her mum's main support. So you know all this stuff about him, and then I didn't know if he was going to actually turn up. So when he did turn up, I knew that he had more of a story than just he was coming up to see his baby sister. There's a whole load of stuff that's going to be uncovered about James as the book goes on, and it really tests Rosie's faith in her family. I'm not giving too much away to say that, I think, because you know he's going to be in trouble. It's really funny because it took the story in a completely different direction, as much as it did when Ed became a major character. When James showed up, it was like, oh, okay, he's not a bad guy, but kind of trouble follows him around, and all of it is shaking Rosie's equilibrium and this life that she's created for herself and this happiness that she's created for herself. So we will see how that plays out. So tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing, chapter 10 and 11. I know that some people are reading ahead. I'm getting messages from people saying I can't just read one chapter at a time. So today and tomorrow we're doing 2 chapters, then we'll go back to doing 1 chapter. Don't worry if you're just doing 1 chapter at a time, it's fine. Watch the video whenever you're ready. I'm not giving away any spoilers in the video. It's just there for you waiting whenever you want it. And I'm going to tell you about Mr. Kowalski, who is the person that Rosie bought the florist shop off and is kind of a bit of a father figure for her. I'll also tell you about Old F. Old F is the cranky old coffee maker. I'm going to tell you more about him and where that came from, and actually what inspired that cranky old old coffee machine. So do you have any questions about Fairytale of New York? What would you like to know? You can ask me in a number of different ways. You can leave a comment underneath this video. You can tweet me at Wordsmith. I'm also Wordsmith on Instagram, Miranda Dickinson author on Facebook, and you can email me mirandawordy@gmail.com. That is all for today. Happy reading, take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Been a long time coming. Whoa.